Welcome to one and all. Today we are going to learn Lab 12 Java Server Phases, Enterprise Java Bean, Java Persistence Application, CRUD Application. We are going to learn. For that, we are going to use NetBeans 12.0. Actually, this enterprise application, we are going to use Java EE8. Java EE8 support for the first time in 11.1 for Maven based Gradle based web application. That means everything it will come automatically. The code will be generated automatically. Java EE8 support provides the ability to create Java EE8 applications and deploy to a Java EE8 container with new, that means lab 12. Okay, now we are going to create Maven enterprise application project. What is the main objective of this lab? Is to create enterprise application project using Maven enterprise application archetype bundled with the IDE. This enterprise application archetype will also create EJP project and a web app project. Okay. Therefore, please note down, we are going to follow the steps. There are nearly 24 steps, 26 steps to complete this lab. Okay, because to create this project, it takes a little more time. Therefore, we'll jump to step number 2. What is step number 2? Click a new project. Click with Java with Maven category, and the project is enterprise application that we are going to do. Now see that file, new project. The category is Java with Maven. Now I'm going to select enterprise application. Click next. Now what is the name of the project is Lab 12. Lab 12 we are going to give the name, and the group ID is com.utass 1. This is a version 1.0 and the package is com.utass lab 12. Click next, and we are going to accept default as it is server Glassfish server. The Java E version is 8, and we are going to create two modules. One is EJP module, another one is web application module. Later I explain what is this EJP module and web application module. Okay, click finish. Once if you click finish, it will take some time to create the project. In the meantime, we'll move to the first step. What is the first step? Go to the services, create the table in the sample database. Name of the table is person with the 4 data field. ID person, it is a primary key, and name is it's integer. Name is this varchar, email also varchar. Only the difference here I'll make it 40, email is 50, and the phone number is integer with 8 digit. Okay, now that is a maximum that you can specify there also. Now I'll go to the, that means still it is creating the project. We'll go to the services. The database, what database we are going to use? Java database. But here I have two things. One is sample, another one is Sun App Serve sample. Okay, I'm going to open. Here the name is app, that is a username, and I'm going to use the table. Okay, now in the app I'm going to create the table. What is the name of the table is person. Okay, you can put capital or small letter because it is not case sensitive. Person, and the column, first column is ID person, the type is integer, and it is a primary. That will make the constraint as a primary key. It is a unique. We cannot give the same ID for two different persons. That is the reason I selected as a primary key and a unique option. Okay, click okay. Now next, second column is name as mentioned in the lab steps. Name, its type is varchar, and the size is 40 as I mentioned before. And the third one is email. Please note down, don't change the letter or the name, it will create problem. Varchar, and the email is 50. Okay, the last one is phone. Okay, it is an integer. The size you can mention at 8 I told, but the default column value, if you want, you can specify at 8. Okay, that is click OK. Okay, you can check default value. It is a default value. If you want, you can edit. We don't want any default. This is default value, not default things, not default size, because it is disabled. You can choose another option to fix. Anyway, click OK. Okay, now it is we have created the person with the 4 column data. That is a ID person, name, email, and phone. It's very important. We cannot say for ID person IPD I give, because inside we are going to use. I'm going to edit and changes ID person. Okay, it is integer, name, email, phone. Okay, everything okay. Now successfully the table is created. Okay, now I am going to add one data, view data. If it is empty actually. Okay, it is empty. I am going to add one data. The ID is 101. The name of person is Thirumurugan. Okay, the email ID is thirumurugan.soh@cas.edu.om. The phone number is, I'll give 99223311. Okay, this is the phone number, 8 digit. I click OK. Obviously you can see the data, the data in the row. Okay, the ID, name, email, and phone number. Okay, the next step, what I am going to do, I'll go to the project. Here you can see that there are 4 projects created. We'll discuss more in detail what are these 4. The first one is what? Lab 12 1.0. Okay, you can see that lab 12 1.0 snapshot. You can see that this is what is this one. We'll discuss one by one. We'll discuss one by one. What is this lab 12 1.0? It is nothing but Maven enterprise application. The assembly project is used to assemble ER archive from EJP and WAR archives, and this one contains all the your that means you can add your JSF page, entity class, session bean for entity class, and controller, that is managed bean class. All we are going to keep it in this project only. And please note down, in the older version Java E6.7, this one, not it is just it is going to assemble only, and it not contain any resources. But in Java 8 E support, for that means they added all it everything available in one place. And the second project is ER file. What is ER file? It is nothing but Maven. That means this enterprise application project, it's a ER file. This project does not contain any resources. It contains only the pom.xml, that with details about the modules and contains in the enterprise application. Next one is the EJP, that is enterprise Java Bean. This EJP project generally contains the business logic of the application, that it is packed with EJP jar archive. The last one is the web application. This web application project generally contains a presentation layer of the application, such as JSF, JSP file, and servlets. But generally, even though it is separated with the 4, but everything contains in the first one only, like that in Java enterprise edition. That is a major changes between the 6, 7 and 8. Okay. Now we'll move to the steps. Now step number 3, because we completed first 2 steps. Step number 3, we are going to update the persistence unit. How we can update? Just go to other sources, and inside that you can see meta INF, you can see the persistence. Now here already it mentioned here, but we are going to change. See what is the persistence unit name? My persistent unit. The persistence library is Eclipse link JPA 2.1. Now connection I am going to change to another connection, because there only I created the person table. It is created. Okay. Now you can check the source. You can check the source. It is updated. Okay. Now what is the next step? This is done. What is the point here? Open the persistent.xml. It is available in the meta INF folder. Data source, that is if you are going to use Java database, you are selecting this. Otherwise what? If it is MySQL, you must change your database as MySQL. And please note down, check the source is updated or not. Obviously it is updated. See, it is clearly updated. What is the persistence unit? Now I change to Sun app service sample, not sample, normal sample. Okay, that is done. It is updated. Now we'll move to the fourth step. Right click the project node 1.0, that is the first one, EJP web, and select the build with the dependencies. Suppose if there is any error or any resolve problem comes, you can do that. But here we don't have any issues here. Therefore, no need to do that step. Okay, now we'll move to the next step. Now we are going to create the entity class from database. Okay, how we are going to create? Right click the lab, new. You can see that there's the option entity class from database. Otherwise you can go to others, go to category of persistence. Now select, you can see that entity class from database. Okay, now click next. Immediately it will show the data source is empty. Now see that here it is not showing. Why it is not showing? Because we selected but not saved. Just save this one. Once you saved, you can get. Now again go to the new entity class, because already, so once if you tried, it will show automatically here entity class from database. Okay, see that since it is not showing anything now, therefore we are going to build with the dependencies. Just repeat all the 3 project, build with the dependencies. We'll see. Okay, now if it is comes error, no problem. Build with the dependencies. We'll see. Okay, even check whether output is built successful. Now again last one, build with dependencies. Suppose if you're not getting the option, then only you need, because we selected the correct database and we selected the correct driver, but it is not showing. Okay, again we'll check here, new entity class from database. Okay, it is not showing, no problem. We'll run again. Right click, build with dependencies. Okay, still it is build successful. Now we'll select new session bean for entity class. Sorry, what is the option? Persistence, entity class from database. Next, select the database. And we remember permanently. Click OK. Okay, again run. Yes, build successful. New. Yes, please note down. It will take some time, but you must do properly and do that. See, whatever the data, whatever the table available in the database, it will list out message, person, person one, sequence. You go and check the services. For example, I put cancel. See that all the four table it will show here because I am going to create entity class from database. So far what we done the last 11 labs, that means we create the entity class and then for that entity class we will create the table. But here it is opposite. First we create the table. From the table we are going to create the entity class. That means it is going to create automatically the code for entity class. You are not going to write any code in the entity class. Okay, what we learned before, it is little different here. Now, therefore, suppose if you not get this option, what you must do, just click this build with dependencies. Okay, if you try with this one time or two time, obviously it will success. Sometimes if there is any small problem also solved. Now for example, new entity class from database. See, before database connection is not showing. The server not done, something error comes, you fetch which server and select the server class which server and do that. Obviously you can see person, click add, then click next, and obviously don't change anything. The class name, that means the name of the entity class name is person, the name of the database table is person. See the difference here, it will show all capital, it is case not a case sensitive, but in the Java it is case sensitive. Person, what is the generation type? It is a new, it is going to create new class, new entity class. Click next, and here the association field is default, we are not going to change. Only the collection type we are going to change. It is going to change list, but we are not going to select any option. We accept the default option. Use column name as the relationship. Therefore each data field has a column name. Once if you click finish, you can see that immediately the class is created. Actually the best option is you must create in the correct option is you must create inside the entity class, entity package, entities package. For example, here better you create, I am going to create new package. Okay, but actually right option is you must create the package and then add it here. We'll see whether it is okay, package it is not showing. Okay, Java package it is available. Click next. The name of the package is entities. Okay, entities. Click finish. I'll put the person inside the entities. Obviously it will refactor and it will change. Okay, done. Okay, don't accept the default package, that is very important. Just follow the steps, you will get the correct answer. Now step number 4 is finished. Now we are going to create the session beans for entity class. That means this is a this class only going to manage the data in the database. That means connecting, retrieving, updating, deleting, insert, everything going to take care by the session beans for entity class. Now same place, right click new, session bean for entity class option. Now see that, select that option, click add, obviously it will come. Click next, and very important here, enter the name of the package. Don't accept default model. This is the name of the package model. See the last one, we put our entity class from database, we put it inside the entities package. Now the session bean for entity class, that means we are going to create the session bean for the already created entity class. Please note down here, it is going to create two classes. Say for example, once I click finish, you can find two classes. One is called abstract facet, another one is called person facet. Okay, in the abstract facet, just it will shown here clearly the name of the class. It is T. This is called generic type. You can create any data type for this one. Okay, therefore what it is having, create means it is going to add the data to the database. Edit, it is going to update the data to the database. Remove, that is called delete. Find a particular, if you give one ID, it will tell what is the data in the database of the particular row. Find all means it will find all the data in the database. Find range, count how many data available in the database. Find range means you can specify the range, how many you want to collect. Next, the person facet, it is like interaction. It will specify what is the name of the persistent context, that is the unit name. Here we have the entity manager. You know that entity manager is going to manage the data in the database. Okay, that is done successfully. Now what is the next step? Next step, we are going to add the framework Java server faces, because we didn't add any framework here. Right click the project. See, please note down, we are now going to touch all the remaining three. Go to the properties, select the frameworks, click add Java server faces, click OK. Now it registered libraries is 2.3, click OK. Immediately it will add the frameworks. It will, okay, no problem. Now you can check in the web pages, it is added index.xhtml. Okay, index.xhtml. Now here what is the next step? Just follow the step. Delete the index.html and the web-inf package. Now I am going to delete index.html, not xhtml. Index.xhtml, will keep it as it is. Keep index.html of that one. Okay. Now run the lab 12 and check whether JSF page is loaded without error. Okay, this is only one time we are going to run, because so far we are not run the our enterprise application project. We built with the dependencies. Please note down, only one time required to run. That is actually we are deploy the program. Okay, now click run. Okay, now as hello from facelets comes. If it is the HTML page, it will show hello world. If it is a JSF page, it will show hello from facelets. See that? This is the body of your text. Okay, now we'll move to the next step. Therefore, it loaded the page without any error. We'll move to the next step. What is the next step? Step number 11. Click lab 12 and click new JSF. That is, we are going to create the managed bean class. This is only going to manage. That means this is the one going to interact with your JSF page. Okay. Right click, new JSF CDI bean. Actually, in the old version, it will show the JSF managed bean, but here we call CDI bean in the advanced version of NetBeans. Okay, here we are using. Now, what is the name of the class? Is called a person controller, and the package name is controller. Scope is session. Person controller. The package name is, don't type, better copy here and paste, because it will avoid some typo error. Now package name is fixed. Now session must be changed to scope must be session. Okay, once if you click finish successfully, it is going to create the person controller. Now see that it is given as controller. If you want, you can put it inside your lab 12. Okay, right. If not, no problem, it is not an issue here. Now we'll move to the next step. Open the person controller and call the enterprise Java bean. Now here there are two options. You can right click, insert code, and call enterprise bean. Okay, there you can select your one, that is a lab 12 1.0 snapshot. Select the person face. That means you are going to link with your session bean for entity class. That is means it is easy to manage. Now done. Okay, once suppose if you don't have the link, then you don't have the chance to access your database. That is the reason. Okay, Now what is the next step? Next step I'll explain here. We have one method name called find all available in the managed bean class. This will helpful to find, that means find the data, all the row data, and list out. We are going to list out. Okay, now I'll stop here. Now what we are going to do actually here in this project, say in the index HTML, it is going to load. It is going to load the data person table. That means all the data person table it is going to load. Actually, I added only one. That is, it is going to load. Suppose if you click insert record, it will load this insert.xhtml. If you add the new person detail and after that if you click insert button, obviously that row data is updated and display in your index.xhtml. Suppose if you click delete action, then it will pop up one message box shows that are you sure to delete. If you click OK, it will delete. Suppose if you click cancel, that it will not delete any data. That means it will not delete that row data. Suppose if you click OK, it will delete that row data. Another option, if you click update, then it will load the new JSF page name called update.xhtml, but it will not show your ID number. It will show only permission to change only the name, email ID and phone number. Once if you click update, the respective row data is updated. This is the main objective of this project. But generally first I told in more general. Therefore, how I can list out all the data of the table in the JSF page with the help of this code. What is this code? It is public. Therefore, you can access directly through the named annotation, and the name of the method is find all. Return this start person, because already you call the enterprise bean. Through that it will access and list out all the data, row data of the table. Now we'll move to, that means I'm going to copy this one, right? I'm going to paste, please note down, I'm going to paste it here. Okay, list person. Now first step, import, that is java.util.list person. Obviously it is available in the entities. Don't create, always import. If you have, suppose there is no import option comes, means then you created the wrong class name. That means you created the class name, entity class from databases name is wrong. Therefore be careful that. Okay, now successfully done. Now save, very important to say that here afterwards behaviors we are not going to run. Now the error also removed. Now we are going to update the index HTML. First step, we are going to change the title of the page. Okay, we'll select, say what is the old title. I'll double click. Okay, it is a facelet title. I'm going to change, this is nothing but personal information system. That means I'm going to learn. Now right click, because please note down here we are not going to write any JSF tag. We are going to drag. That means we are going to we created the table. From that, according to that, I am going to use the palette. That means JSF palette. I am going to use the code. For example, here JSF, what is the step is given? From the right hand side palette, click the JSF data table from entity and drag inside the index HTML inside the body. See that I'm going to drag and put inside the body. Now it will ask what is the name of the entity class? Obviously person. Which one you are going to manage it bean property? Obviously find all, because we added only one. Please note down, see it is automatically added. Okay. Now what is here telling? Change the output text box instead of list to employees list. Okay, now it is list only here. I'm going to change to employees list. I want to put border as 1 in the table. Suppose if I not put border, then it will show without any line. Okay, now see what is inside now. First column, the header, the facet header is there. This we discussed already. This is a JSF tag. This is a facet tag, that is output is id person, and here item dot id person will display. That means output text here, this column, it will add all the id person. Next column name, it will add all the name of the respective id of the person. Email, it is like that, it will add. Okay, now after the data table, what we are going to do, that it will display. Now see that no need to run. What we are going to refresh the page or open the browser, enter the URL. This is the URL. Suppose if you create another name, it will create. Now see that already it is available. Now I'll refresh. What happened if it is getting, we'll see. Otherwise I'll add the index dot, because the default one is index HTML. Once I delete it, it is not. Now see that hello from facelet only it is showing. Okay, even though if I refresh, but it is not displaying anything. Why? There are two options. One is not saved. Okay, now I saved. Now go to that page again, refresh. Okay, now see that once I refresh, it is not showing anything. That means my JSF tag one is not viewed. That means rendered is not viewed. Suppose if you have this error, now what is the option? Any step is given? Yes. For example, what they are telling, that just update the web XML file, change your URL pattern. Okay, the default URL pattern is faces /star. Sometimes if you not, suppose, see that I am not able to see anything. Okay, this is not correct. Therefore, what to do? Update the web.xml. See, here I entered the same thing, but the problem is I am not able to view my JSF tag. Now where is this web.xml? It is inside the web INF folder of your project, just web XML. See that here you have the faces. Now just delete that faces, put xhtml. Okay, save the file. But some NetBeans, it will show the error, some version of NetBeans, some it will not show, especially the older version not showing, especially the new version only making problem. Okay, now see that it is giving error. If it is giving error, means it's not your fault, because your session is expired. Okay, just cut. Now open again the Internet Explorer. No need to run for any case. Okay, if section is expired, means it will your is not reachable. Okay, now see that localhost lab 12 index HTML. Now see that ID person, name, email, phone number is there, but the database not updated. We will check our database, it is available or not, services. Okay, now view data. Is anything, any row data is there? Yes, see I have the data, but it is not viewing. We'll see what is the error. See, it is not showing the data. We'll check now where is the mistake. We'll check with the person controller. Yes, this yes, this is no not a mistake. Person controller. Now we'll check with our JSF page, index.html. Okay, item phone, find all. Okay, I'll add one more data. We'll see. Anyway, actually it must shown. Now I'm going to add one more data. Okay, see that 102, the name of the person is Syed. Okay, email is syed.soh@cas.edu.om. The phone number 99112244. Okay, click OK. Now I have two data that must be displayed here. Okay, therefore it is not showing where it is. Yes, we'll check our persistence.xml. Yes, it is correct. Okay, suppose if it is not showing, one option we can run. This is the worst case only. This, see, once it is run, it's not working. We'll do clean and build. Okay. Local host. Once you clean and build, obviously you need to run. Otherwise, because already it's showing one warning, build with dependencies. Still it is warning is there. Check. Suppose if there is any error here also it may show. Yes, it is correct. What is the error? We'll read now. Faces slash index XHTML not found in the context. Okay, because we removed that one index.xhtml. See that it comes because we remove that option. That's why it is giving error. Okay, now see that whatever I added, Thirumurugan is there, Syed also there. These are the only two datas. Okay, sometimes if you not get answer, what to do, just to change that one faces slash star, it will may work because I deleted, I put only star.xhtml, then you must give the full path, no other option. Okay, now we'll check the services. Okay, now you can see the two data. Now I am going to add one more data in front of you. The ID is 103. The name of the person is Muhammad. Muhammad, MOA, Muhammad dot soh at the rate of cas dot edu dot om, and the phone number is 99221144. Okay, click OK. Now see that, just refresh here. Now see that Muhammad is updated. This is whatever you update in the database, that is reflected in the index.xhtml. That is first one successfully done. Now we'll move to the next option. That means instantaneate the person object generate getter and setter. Why we are doing this? Because we are going to insert, delete, update. We need this individual object name reference. Therefore, where is the C? Now web XML, we are not going to do anything. Person control, all these changes only here. Okay, now I add it here. Okay, now since it is a private, if you want to access this data outside, you need getter. If you want to uh, write the data, then you need setter. Therefore now after the constructor, add this getter and setter. Okay, I told you alt insert, select getter and setter and generate. Now immediately getter and setter is done. Getter and setter is done. Now what we are going to do, this is the method to insert the data to the database. What is this method? Public string insert. It is going to return a string that is nothing but your JSF page name. This dot person facet create, that means it refer to the person facet, and create means it will add the data to the person. That means after that we create the object of the person, then only it will update, otherwise it won't update. Therefore I'm going to copy this one. Okay, now after find all, this is the code for insert. Okay, now we are going to create the new JSF page name called insert. Go to the project, right click new JSF page. The name of the JSF page is insert. Okay, click finish. Now what is the title? Create employee details. That is the title. Okay, after that now we are going to select the palette. Okay, JSF, what is one? JSF form from entity. Therefore here also I am not going to write any code for the JSF page. Directly I am going to drag and drop from the JSF palette. Now what is my entity class name called? Person. Which one I want to write? I'm going to write for only person. Click OK. Immediately it will write. See, create and edit. It will give the title also. Create and edit, output label ID, person. See, it will put the panel grid 2 columns. First ID, next text, name, input text, label, input text. Like that it is done, successfully created. Now see that next one, you are going to add on command button. If you click this button, I want to load the insert page. See, I want to load the insert page and add the detail. Now see that I'm going to call the insert, copy this one. After, please put after the panel grid. Why? Because it is already 2. Okay, now or if you put inside the panel grid also, not an issue. Please note down the command button. This is the tag, the tag h colon command button tag. Value is insert, the name of the button is insert. What is the action? Once I click this button, it will call the insert method in the person control. What this will do? Immediately it will load the index page. It will it will move to the insert, and then it will finally load the index page. Okay. Insert means once if you call this method, that means where you are calling in the insert page only. It will finally, once you click the button, it will insert the data to the database and load the index page. That will be happen here. Okay, now save it here. Now what is one more command? We are giving the link for this, because I want to link the index page to the insert page using the link tag. Okay, now select this one. Okay, select this one where we are going to add for the index page, where we are going to add that means after the output text value of the index HTML, right? See here, before the table I am going to add. Okay, before the table I am going to add. This is a link. Actually this line linked to the insert page. Okay, because I want to insert. How it is possible? See here, employee list is there. I want to insert. How? See, there is no option available. Now I'm going to refresh. I'm going to put that link here. See, now its insert record is come, because we pasted after the output label insert record. Now see that immediately it will show. This will load the insert page. Now I am going to add one new ID 104. Name of the person is Mariam. Okay, the email is mariam.syh@cas.edu.om. The phone number 99440011. Okay, click insert. You can see that Mariam is inserted at last. See, this is first 3 from the table. Last one is just now you insert. Now what is pending there? The pending one is the two actions, delete and update. Okay, how we are going to do for delete? This is the method we are going to add in the person controller. Okay, this is the method we are going to add in the person controller. What is this method? If you call this method, it will take the input value of the person and finally remove that data in the database. How we are going to add this action in the table? How we are going to add? We are going to add one separate column. The name of the column is action, and here it is going to add the command link for every row. See the command link for every row. Once if you click the delete button, immediately it will call the delete method, and once you click, it will open the message box or issue to delete. See, this is the confirmation message box. Okay, confirmation messages. Now where we are going to add, we are going to add in the index HTML last column. See, after the phone we are going to add, but inside the data table. Okay, this is same like your JSF page tag, page set and action. This is the header, it's action. Okay, after that this delete, this command link delete is added in every row. How many rows we have here? You can check. There are 4 rows. Now I save, just refresh. Okay, just click cancel. Cancel means it will not load. If you click retry, it will say error. Why? Because it is expired. Okay, it is expired. Okay, I'll put index.html. Okay, because the insert is only expired. See that now I am going to delete Syed now. It's working or not, we'll see. Delete, or issue to delete, cancel. Delete, if I click OK, now see that Syed is deleted. We'll check in the database also. Go to the services, person, view data, minimize. See that Syed also deleted here. Now we'll move to the last action. What is the last action? Is update. Okay, for that update we need two method. We need two method. One is I'll update and show you. Why we need two method, I'll tell you. See that if you call the update with, see that both are, it is same method name is same, only parameter is different. That is we are overriding. Suppose if you call the update method with the person information, it will load the update page. Suppose if you call only update method, immediately it will update the person and load the index page. I'll repeat once again. We have the method overriding here. Okay, one with one parameter, another one is no parameter. Okay, if you call with one parameter, it will load the update page. Suppose if you call with the empty argument, sorry, one argument, no argument. One argument means it will load the update page. No argument means it will load the index page. Okay, now we'll save this one. Now what to do? We are going to update the index. This is same like delete, nothing new. Okay, it is same like delete. Only thing, instead of loading message box, it will load the update page. Okay, go to the index HTML. We are going to add the new column of new action, that is called update. Okay, that is called update. Okay, now save. You can see that one in the your page. Just refresh. Okay, now if you, okay, we'll do one thing. Here we'll enter yes, because if you refresh, it is not loading properly. Now update, if you click update, what I'm expecting, it will load the update page. If you click, it will not load. Why? Still we are not created the update page. Now we are going to create the update page. Okay, Now the name of the JSF page is called update. Name of the JSF page is called update project. Right click new JSF page, update, click finish. Now what is the title? Title I am going to change is called, title is also update. Okay. Now what we are going to do? We are going to call from same thing, JSF form from entity. What is the name of the entity? Person. The property also person. But here we are not going to give the ID. Therefore, I am going to delete the ID. Okay, only it will show name, email and phone number only. We are give the permission to change. Remaining, no, we are not going to change. What is the method? Command. If you click update, it will work. Update. Okay. Now it is same. Just call the update. See that if you call empty update means it will load the page. Now here if you check with index HTML, it is you are going to call update with one parameter. Then it will load the update page. Now I am going to save. Click here. Click update. Now see that restored. Okay, now we need to refresh. If it is not working means close the browser, and because its session is scope is expired, your scope is expired, localhost, yes, see, if your scope is expired, the link will not work. Now see that, see, once I click the first option, it show Thirumurugan. Now I am going to update. This name is not Thirumurugan, Thirumurugan Shanmugam. Okay, click update. Now see that my name is updated. Now I am going to click the record 105. The name of the person is Peter. The email is peter.soh@cas.edu.om. The phone number is 99220011. Okay, insert. Now see that Peter is inserted. Therefore, from this what we learned, how to create the enterprise application, and from that how to create entity class from database, and after that we created the session bean for entity class. After that we created the controller, that means managed bean, person controller. From that we added one by one features, how to load the data, how to insert the data, delete the data, update the data. That's all. Thank you very much for watching.